Hi there. So today marks the first foray for us into strength training. There are many different strategies for building a great strength training program. And let me tell you that in building the program for Pulmonary Wellness Online, we have two main principles and two main priorities in our minds. There are many different ways to structure a strength training program, depending upon what your fitness goals are. In developing the specific program for Pulmonary Wellness Online, we took two major principles and priorities and put them at the forefront of our program. First and foremost is breathing. So we wanted to create a program that would support the respiratory system in the best way that we can. Second is function. Because after all, isn't that what all this is about? We don't live to rehab. We rehab so that you can live your life. As I've said many times, when people get short of breath initially, it happens at high levels of activity. Things like stair climbing, walking uphill, walking quickly, or running for the bus. When people begin to get symptomatic, they find ways to avoid the activities that cause them discomfort. And as a result, all of the muscles that they use to do those activities become weaker. They become less efficient. And when a muscle becomes weaker and less efficient, it doesn't use oxygen as well. And as a result, you begin to get short of breath at lower levels of activity. Our goal is to break into that cycle by, number one, teaching you more effective breathing techniques and teaching you how to exercise most effectively so that your body gets stronger, more efficient, and better at using oxygen. There are many different ways to structure a strength training program. We've decided to break our program up into 3 separate workouts done on alternating days of the week, in which a different body part or body parts are stressed in each exercise session. Tonight, we do the first of those, in which we do the chest, back, and thorax. It's not difficult to realize that the chest, back, and thorax are intimately related to how well or how poorly we breathe. This is why people with respiratory disease have so much trouble with upper body activity. And you're making a choice between function and breathing. Given that choice, most people will choose breathing each and every time. But you don't necessarily have to make that choice if you can learn some strategies for breathing both during the activity and strategies for the activity that take your breathing into account. Our first workout involves the muscles of the chest, back, and thorax. However, I'm going to specifically say that it involves the muscles of the back, chest, and thorax. In that order, let me tell you why. As human beings, 90% of what we do with our lives is done in front of us. We sit at the computer. We drive. We cook. We clean. We use the muscles of the upper body to do things out here. As a result, the muscles of the chest become overworked and tighter as compared to the muscles of the back, which become looser and weaker. In addition to breathing and function, as we developed our program, we wanted to pay attention to muscle balance, balancing our bodies between front and back, side to side, up and down. So because we do everything in front of us, the muscles of the chest become very weak. But they also become very tight. The muscles of the back also become weak, but they become very loose, leading to a muscle imbalance that puts us in this forward flexed, hunched over, because so much of what we do is done in front of us, and so little of what we do is done behind us. This leads to a muscle imbalance in which the chest muscles become very tight and constricted, and the back muscles become very weak and loose, leading to this round-shouldered, hunched-over position that so many of us are in. The way that a muscle gets nutrition and releases waste products to the blood is by contraction and relaxation. When a muscle relaxes, healthy, oxygenated, clean blood fills that muscle, nourishing it. And when a muscle contracts, all of the waste products from activities are squeezed out of that muscle. As a result, muscles like activity. They like to relax and contract. Relax, filling with blood. Contract, squeezing out waste products and painful metabolites. So it's neither good for the muscles to be too tight, as in the chest muscles, or too loose, as in the back muscles. The ideal is for them to be somewhere in the middle, creating muscular balance. The chest muscles, being very tight, can go into spasm. That spasm can cause pain due to the buildup of painful metabolites and the lack of muscle nutrition. The back muscles, being so loose, never fully contract. And over time, days, weeks, months, years, and decades, we fall further and further into this pattern. Now, this pattern is not just bad for our muscles. This pattern is also bad for our breathing, because anything that causes us to constrict will not allow us to take a deep breath. For that reason, we wanted to create balance between the front and the back, the chest muscles, the back muscles, restoring their natural balance by stretching the chest and strengthening the back. Whenever we have a muscle group that's weaker than its opposing or antagonistic muscle group, we will always focus on the weaker muscle group first. For that reason, we're going to focus on the back muscles before we focus on the chest. For tonight, I'm going to show you one exercise for each body part, one for the back, one for the chest. And each week, we'll add something new to the routine, either additional, different, or both. When it comes to strength training, we can think of specific exercises as being either compound movements or isolation movements. A compound movement is one in which, in addition to the muscle we're working being the primary mover, there may also be secondary muscles involved. As an example, the chest does this. When we push forward, that's chest. When we pull back, that's the muscles of the back. So the bench press and the row. Bench press, row. And as we come back, we're going to squeeze the muscles of our back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Bench press and row. Now, before we add any weight to this, we're going to do it as a breathing exercise. So as an example, the chest press is a compound movement. Why? Because in addition to the muscles of the chest, I'm also using the muscles on the front of the shoulders as well as the triceps. So think about that. Chest press. Chest, shoulders, triceps. As you can see in a compound movement, there are multiple joints working at once. And in this case, the primary joints are going to be our shoulders and our elbows. This is compared to what we call an isolation movement, in which only that muscle group is moving, performing the exercise. As an example, if I put my arms up like this and squeeze, That is a chest isolation movement. Squeeze, chest isolation movement. Squeeze, chest isolation movement. Let's go to the back for a bit. The back does things like this. The muscles of the latissimus dorsi, the rhomboids, they pull the arms back, or they pull the arms down. They pull the arms down. Now you notice, this is not an isolation movement. This is a compound movement. My shoulder joints, my elbow joints, using the muscles of the back. Using the muscles of the back, the posterior deltoids, or the rear of my shoulders, and my biceps. Now if we were to reverse this motion, pushing up, that would be the shoulders, chest, and triceps. Same thing if I put it forward like this and I squeeze. Now, you don't have to have a fancy weight system. You don't need machines. You don't need dumbbells. You don't need bands. You don't need anything fancy. If you have it, that's great. But if not, we'll find a way to make do. So tonight is going to be back and chest. Back and chest. We're going to focus on the back muscles first because those are our weaker muscles. Those are our longer muscles. And those are the muscles we want to strengthen so that they help to improve our posture, opening up the chest so that we can breathe better. Then we're going to do the muscles of the chest because those muscles need nutrition and exercise as well. So for tonight, I want you to sit as I'm sitting with my hands on a table. And with all of the back exercises, it's important for you to think about leading with the elbows, bringing the shoulder blades closer together, and sitting up in good posture. So I'm going to bring my hands like this. And I'm just going to bring my arms slowly back and squeeze. When it comes to breathing during strength training, again, we're faced with two opposite principles. So do we want to do what's traditionally thought as correct, which is to blow out on the hard part, on the exertion, and breathe in on the return? Or do we want to address this towards breathing? I'm going to breathe in through my nose, and as I squeeze my shoulder blades together, I'm going to blow out gently through my mouth, and I'm going to put my hands on the side of my thorax, and I'm going to hold it here for a stretch. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Put your hands on the table again. Blow it out through your mouth as you stay there. This time we're going to move again. Nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you lead with your elbows, blow out through your mouth. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and put your arms on the sides of your thorax. Now you may feel some muscles stretching in here. You may even feel some muscles cramping or going into spasm. That means you need it. What is that telling you? That means don't push it. Don't hurt yourself. It just means those are some areas we need to shake some rust off, sand it down, smooth it out. So this time, we're going to do 10 repetitions. I want you to start in a place where your hands are sitting on a table. And let's just focus on some nice, easy breathing in through your nose and out gently through your mouth. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Now, when our arms are away from the body like this is going to be the most conducive to filling of the lungs. So let's take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you blow out gently through your mouth, let your elbows glide towards the back. And squeeze the shoulders together. Stick your chest out as you stretch those chest muscles. And rest your arms on your thorax. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Rest your arms on the table. Nice deep breath in. As we blow out through pursed lips, slowly lead with the elbows, squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back, stretching out the chest, and rest your arms on your thorax. Nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath in. Now, if you have weights or machines or a band or anything else and you feel up to the challenge, by all means lift those up. It should be light enough that you can maintain good form throughout the entire exercise. Nice deep breath in through your nose and out gently through your mouth. As you do this, focus on the muscles of your back by visualizing. Nice deep breath in through your nose and out gently through your mouth. Nice deep breath in, and let's just rest our hands on the table. We're going to do 3 more of these. Nice deep breath in through your nose. And on this last one, just put your hands at your side. Focus on your back muscles squeezing together and your chest muscles starting to relax and lengthen. And if you feel up to it, squeeze your shoulder blades in the back and feel those chest muscles stretching on the side. So the pectoral muscles run horizontally. So that means when they stretch, that's how they're going to stretch. We're also going to have a stretching of what we call the intercostal muscles. Inter for in between, costal meaning the ribs. And these muscles get very, very tight in people with respiratory disease. For people with restrictive diseases, they get tight in a very shortened position because people have difficulty taking a deep breath. And as a result, the ribs remain very close together and the intercostals stay close and tight. For people with obstructive disease, who can be more hyperinflated, who aren't always more hyperinflated, but the ribs become more horizontal, stretching these intercostal muscles much further than they like to be stretched for long periods of time. So our goal, if your goal is to fill your lungs, is to focus on spreading the ribs. And if your goal is to blow air out of the lungs, then we're going to use pursed lip breathing to help us do that. As we move to the chest, I want you to think of your body as being immersed in water. Let's put our hands up at shoulder level. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor and take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And push. Nice deep breath in and push. Nice deep breath in through your nose. Squeeze those shoulder blades in the back. The other thing that we benefit from by combining these exercises is we reintroduce the chest and back, reminding them of what it was like before they were mad at each other. And now we're going to break up the body, and we're going to do side to side, one arm at a time, allowing us to just go a little further back than we did before. As you come back, focus on breathing in through your nose and push out, blowing out through your mouth, and put your hand back on the table. Nice deep breath in through your nose and out, and coming back with both. Nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Excellent. So what I've just shown you is that you can have a very beautiful workout that focuses on breathing, aerobic exercise, strength training, flexibility, and balance without any equipment. How many people feel more relaxed now? How many people feel like they're breathing better? I know I do. Namaste.